LinkedIn Hiring Pro handles it all for you. Writing job description, coding top candidates, even conducting AI-powered first interviews. Forget days through countless resumes. Hire right the first time. Post your first job and get $100 off your job post at linkedin.com/Ken. LinkedIn.com/Ken.
Here we go.
It better be.
Post your first job. $100 off right now at linkedin.com/Ken.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics, with 18 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you.
It's Talkback, Louisiana's longest running talk show. So we're calling. Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins.
Well, good morning, Central Louisiana. Welcome to Talkback for Thursday, the 12th day of March, 2026. Nathan Martin in the studio. Stephen Maxwell will join us in just a little bit as he is doing, as Al often describes, daddy duties this morning, getting his little sweetheart off to school. And so he'll be with us shortly. But until then, boy, have we got a guest for you. I am excited to take a personal privilege with the permission of Uncle Al, as I call our good friend Al Portermont, to invite in a special guest today who's very special to me, and that's my dad, Buddy Martin. Good morning, Dad. How are you?
Good morning, son. I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to have you here in the studio this morning.
Yeah.
I know you're a regular listener to Talkback. It's something you do all the time, but kind of feels good to be here in the studio, right?
Yes. Oh, I've been looking forward to it. This is wonderful.
Well, the reason that I invited you in this morning, and folks might understand, I mentioned it on Tuesday when I was here, is that this weekend, the church that you founded, Christian Challenge Worship Center, is celebrating a very special event, 50 years of ministry. So, but first of all, let me say congratulations.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I wanted to take it, as I say, Stephen will be here in a little bit, and we were chatting about, how to fill the time this morning, and we already had you scheduled for coming in later this morning, but I'm glad that you made it over the river a little bit earlier today.
Well, it was divine timing. We got here at the same time.
We drove in the parking lot at the exact same time.
Yes.
So, Dad, tell me just a little bit about Christian Challenge. What put it on your heart to start that church 50 years ago this month?
Well, Nathan, it's hard to find an exact time. Because if you look back over your life, I think any Christian can say this. You can connect dots. And God is always preparing you for what He's preparing you for. And we were in Lafayette quite a few years ago, living in Lafayette. And I had left the evangelistic field and was serving the Lord down there. And God spoke to me one morning during my devotion. He said, "Go home." Well, home is Central Louisiana to us, so we headed north. But what I didn't know was there was a church out in the country that was praying for a pastor. And I had held a revival for them several years before that. And so we drove into to my sister's house. The church was across the road from her. I noticed they had the lights on. I didn't know why they were there, and it wasn't a church night. So we went over there, and people had gathered in the church. I didn't know they were praying for a pastor.
Wow.
I'm glad the Lord didn't tell me. I might have had I don't know if I had second thoughts, but my wife and I sat on the back row, and Brother Noah Edwards was conducting the service, and he recognized me. He said, "Brother Martin, you have anything you'd like to share?" I said, "Brother, I don't even know why I'm here." And all of a sudden, people began to weep in the congregation because they were hearing their pastor again. You so well to say that. So my point in all that is that we were there a year and a half, a beautiful, wonderful church. It's called House of Prayer now at Mora. It was called Red Top Pentecostal Church back then. It was during that time that God spoke to my heart to begin establishing a new ministry that would be basically a training center, short-term training programs here in Central Louisiana. And so we did. We had a little overlap between the pastor of that church and starting Christian Challenge. But we started Christian Challenge. Our first service was March the 9th, 1976. And what's interesting, when I look back over time, I wonder, Lord, how did that even happen? because we had $500. We had a house on Red River, $75 a month, with a building we had to pay for. And all of a sudden, here we are trusting God. But the only thing we had, Nathan, was a stewardship from the Lord. I had my wife, I had 3 children, I had my guitar, and I had my Bible, and I just started singing. People started coming. That's the short term.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing project, because even you, Nathan, you were our first missionary that went out from Christian Challenge. We were training people, and of course you went into Mexico several years, and now we have about close to 20 churches that are in Mexico.
Yeah, and that's an amazing part of the story. I want to go back to the beginning. You said when you heard "Go Home," you knew Central Louisiana.
Right.
I know where you were born. Why don't you tell everybody else where you were born?
Oh, August the 21st, 1940, right here in Pineville, Louisiana, Charity Hospital. Most of us were born in Charity Hospital back then. In fact, if you was poor folks, I'm sure.
Well, I was actually at the unveiling of the marker that they did about a month ago out front, because unfortunately that building will be torn down soon.
Boy.
It's a sad day. It's dilapidated beyond restoration, but they want to preserve the history. If I recall, the hospital was actually built in 1937.
37,
And
yes.
so it was really pretty new when Grandma Grace made the trip into town to give birth to her firstborn son. You're not the firstborn child because you have an older sister, but
That's right.
her firstborn son.
Right.
And you've often said to me, Pineville is home. And
I was home.
I know you love this community.
I love Pineville. It's a wonderful little city. I think it's the pearl of the Red River as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You kids were basically raised there in Pineville. And when I take my last breath, I want it to be in Pineville. I would be ready to go home to the Lambs.
Well, we're praying that's a long time from now. You talk about that a lot. You say your first breath and your last breath. I think it's been 85 years in between those so far. We hope there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning, though, because Christian Challenge, first of all, that's an odd name. I mean, Christian Challenge. What made you choose that name?
Well, David Wilkerson, who began Team Challenge, was one of my heroes. And he was doing an amazing work. And I remember we were in Lafayette. I called I tried to talk to him. I talked to his wife, and we started contributing money to Team Challenge. And that name just stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that's what the Lord wanted us to do. And we started we were in the old Johnny Polkaback building there in Boyce. And I had a little sign on the front door that said School for Christian Workers. And from that point on, the Lord had to put it together. But all I know to do as an old-time preacher is listen to the Lord. And that's for all God's children. I think we all have a prophetic side of our life. Every Christian has a prophetic side, because that's what Jesus meant when he said, "My sheep hear my voice, another they will not follow." And that's been my way of living. So,
For those just joining us either online or on the radio or on Facebook, I'm interviewing my father this morning, Lawrence Buddy Martin, and he's a founding pastor of Christian Challenge Worship Center in Pineville, talking about some of the early days, because there's a big event coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which we'll get to in a minute. I want to circle back around because of the name of the ministry. Originally, it was Christian Challenge Incorporated.
that's right.
And then a couple of years later, you changed it to Christian Challenge International.
Right.
And that's still the legal name, but locally, it's known as Christian Challenge Worship Center.
Right.
And so talk us through a little bit about what that local name means versus the international.
Well, the local church, we call it the Mother Church, is there in Pineville, and it is a church. We're a congregation of believers. But the scope of our ministry was to reach out into the world. So I began with programs, radio, not just television so much, but on the web. And began doing great Bible studies. And I found out that we're just a drop in the bucket in comparison to all that God's doing. But I saw that our program were reaching all over this planet. Hundreds of thousands of people were reading the materials that we had. So, and the Lord said, "Go into all the world." And I think He loves the world. And so that was just something that stood on my heart. And we had other missionaries that went out. We have some awesome stories, Nathan, about people that became part of our ministry. Jenny actually went into Mexico, ended up going into China, a little time in Russia. We had John Van Der Reed. I don't know how many people remember Brother John, but he was part of the Youth with the Mission. Yeah, we worked with Youth with the Mission for a while. And an interesting thing happened with John. He and a friend of his were just traveling, going toward Alexandria. They came through Boys. They saw our sign, Christian Challenge, so they came in and we met them and became friends with them. And I think he may have stayed for a service or two. Then he ended up going to Yugoslavia. And this is strange. He was in a storm, and he was in the back of a pickup truck in a storm in Yugoslavia. I think it was Yugoslavia, I believe, or Austria, one of the two. He said God spoke to him and said, I want you to go back to Boys. I want you to listen to the teaching that I'm doing there. Wow. So John Van Reed, I ended up going back to Boys. And then, of course, later on, he ended up going into Russia, establishing ministries in Russia. So I'm just grateful for what God's doing, because when you stand back and look and you say to yourself, I could not have done that. It had to be the Lord did all of that. So, Nathan, if there's a key to ministry, I think it's keep an humble heart before God. Don't take any credit to yourself. You don't have room for that. And God's always looking for the humble heart that'll serve Him, walk with Him, not be afraid. And then when He gives you the stewardship, that's really all you need. That's all we had was the stewardship to begin with. And so my wife could tell you some wonderful stories, but having to manage our budget because we didn't have a congregation. I remember one gentleman came by and talked to me one day, and he said, Brother Martin, who's sponsoring you? Who's your backup? Who's your money coming from? I said, well, brother, you ever heard about God? He started laughing at me. Well, that's the only answer I had, because it was an interesting thing. All of a sudden, people started coming from Grant Parish, from LeCount, from Alexander, from all of a sudden we had bought a bunch of theater chairs, and the place was filling up. And then, through the prophetic operations of the Holy Spirit, God directed us to go ahead and move to Pineville. And that's where we've been ever since 1970. 78, I think it was. And so that's basically our story, Nathan. Just to God be the glory. And I'm grateful, because, who am I? I'm just Buddy Martin. And my little sister gave me that name because she was so little she couldn't say brother, so she said something that sounded like Bubby. And I've been tagged with Buddy my whole life, so and that's fine.
Yeah, if somebody ever calls asking for Lawrence, it's a salesman, right?
I guarantee you, I know it's a salesman.
Very good. My guest this morning, Buddy Martin, my father, the founder of Christian Challenge International, known locally as Christian Challenge Worship Center, celebrating 50 years of ministry this weekend. We'll take our bottom of the hour break. We come back. We'll talk about some of the happenings this weekend, the concert on Friday night with Ben Waits, the walk down memory lane on Saturday, and then the big celebration service on Sunday. Thank you guys for joining in and indulging me this morning with my father, Buddy Martin, here on Talkback. Back with more after this.
Talkback is sponsored by the clinics.
All right.
Your timing is so good.
Well, I've done it for a while, so you can take the headphones off during the break if you want to. You can take them off during the break if you want to. We got about 4 minutes.
See that? It helps to take it off.
According to the International Energy Agency, the price of oil.
Oh, that's great, Dad. You're doing good.
Falling. Meantime, fertilizer stocks such as mosaic are on the rise this morning. The conflict has sparked a sharp fire in nitrogen, while China's export curbs are lifting phosphate pricing. In other news, Dollar General gave a sales forecast for the year that was in line with estimates. But this is slowing momentum for a company that had been exceeding Wall Street's expectations. Dollar General has been benefiting from consumers looking for lower prices, helping the discount retailer routinely beat Wall Street projections. Last year, the chain started to attract more high-income shoppers, boosting results. Shares of Dollar General are dropping in the early trade this morning. Courtney Donovan, Bloomberg Radio.
It's time to spring and reading. The Rabbit Pierce Library Easter Basket Read-All. Hot facts, March 1st through April 1st. Longer reading and bean stacks for a chance to win an egg for special Easter basket packed with goodies. The more you read, the more chances you have to win. 4 winners at every branch, ages 0 to 5, 6 to 12, teens, and adults. So grab a book and read your way to a happy spring surprise. Visit RPO for details.
Good morning. Sunny, much cooler today. We'll see the altitude night only getting up to 63 degrees. Breeze. It's going to be out of the northeast and 20. On the night down to 36 degrees. degrees under clear skies. And get ready for tonight's weather. Sunny on Friday, the high 74. Saturday and Sunday looking good as well. 78 the high on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. From the Villa Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Big Rachel. If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BON Bank Talkline at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to refinance your home, call Christina Maxwell at the BON Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430. Now, back to 78.
Welcome back to Talkback on Thursday. Nathan Martin here in the studio. Stephen Maxwell joining us shortly when he gets through dropping off beautiful Sophia, who had a birthday this week. Happy birthday, Sophia. Hope you had a great day. I have a birthday in my family today. My daughter today, Viviana, is celebrating her 20th birthday.
20 years.
I woke her up singing happy birthday to her this morning. Made her put a smile on her face, dropped her off at school. And she gets out early. She's a senior. She gets out early. And so we'll be taking her to a little lunch with Bort, my wife and I. And then tonight, big family celebration. So
Yes, you want to make sure Grandpa was going to be there. Well, we're going to be there.
well,
Yeah.
speaking of celebrations, we're talking about the event taking place this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Christian Challenge. But before we go to that event, let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Nathan and Buddy Martin. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much for that call. Well, there you go, Dad. Caller wants to know if you would share some tests that maybe you've experienced over the years.
I think I was born to call to be a preacher.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. When you go back all the way to boys, it was just me and my wife and you three children. And we had to see the Lord provide for us in ways that were just, they had to be His hand. I can't think of one particular thing. We just had to trust Him for everything, Nathan. We had no outside income. And God began to do special, interesting things. We had a gentleman, somebody may remember him, Grady Bates. He had probably one of the largest transmission shops here in the Alexandria area. I was with him. We were growing up together, and he started coming to Christian Challenge. Well, he started tithing his ministry, and that's what kept our head basically above water, other than the God providing for that. That was one of the things. Grady also had an airplane, and he started flying us to wherever we needed to go. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is God always provides who you need, when you need it, at the particular time. He's just a good example. Brother James Dozhart is another wonderful, he was one of our elders. He's with the Lord now. He was a builder. And when the Lord sent him and his sweet wife, and they had one daughter, that building we have now, he almost needs to have James's name on it. He was the background for that.
Yeah.
But those are just little things that happen. Whenever we had a need, God had someone that we don't take up offerings, which we don't to this day.
So I did want to ask you that. That's something you decided from day one. When you started 50 years ago, you were not going to pass an altar plate. What prompted that?
Well, I was reading God's Smuggler, and I began, of course, my heart was to trust the Lord, but sometimes you don't know how to put everything together. I was reading God's Smuggler years ago, and I saw how that they refused to take up offerings, and they began to trust God for their ministry. And it clicked. It just did something in my heart. The Lord gives you the inspirations you need to walk with. So we decided then that we would not take up offerings and let people give as God places it upon their heart to give. We don't make a big emphasis on money at Christian Challenge. We don't to this day. And I think that gives God's people room to love and appreciate how He works in their life, and He has them give what He wants them to give. So it's always been that way. I wouldn't want to change that, Nathan.
Well, some churches, especially since COVID, have started that idea of contactless giving boxes, but you've done that for 50 years, and
Yeah.
it's a credit. I mean, folks will say you've never hounded people for money, or that's not a big emphasis.
But you know, can I back up? Well, just one
Yes,
minute.
sir.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it had to begin with us. We had to learn to be givers.
Yeah.
And whenever we hit a hard spot, we did a strange thing. My wife and I, we sold our car, and we took that money and put it into the building fund. We took our wedding rings, my wife's wedding ring, we sold her wedding rings because that was part of it's a sacrifice of faith, but it's not a sacrifice so much as I mean, it does do something in your heart. We sold those rings, and what happened after that, somebody bought those rings and brought them and gave them back to us. So those are just little things that we walk through. When you trust the Lord, He's going to do things for you that beyond your expectation. We've had so many miracles, Nathan. I don't want to get into that so much, but I had a miracle healing from the Lord. He spoke into my life and told me to expect the unexpected, and that's one of those miracles that's on. You can check it out.
I think that's an important story to share because it's been a part of your testimony. In 2006, you were diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia.
Right. Yeah.
And you completed the treatment at Cabrini, and then when you went back for one of the follow-ups, they said that you'd come back with a vengeance was in your bone marrow.
That's right.
And you were sent to MD Anderson, as I recall.
Right. Yes, I
So
was.
tell us a little bit about that process, because when they told you it was stage 4 in your bone marrow, that's a scary diagnosis.
Well, it's pretty close to a death sentence. Actually, I'm a disabled naval veteran, and they picked up on it at the VA. And I went through the chemo treatments, and I thought they thought it was pretty much in submission. Went back for another checkup, and like you said, it had come back with a vengeance. It was in my bone marrow. They couldn't do anything else for me here at Cabrini, so they sent me to MD Anderson for it. There's a wonderful hospital. And anyway, we went to 2 or 3 times to India. They made all kind of tests on me. And when we finally met with the primary physician, he looked at our test. He went through each one of them and said, "You don't have any cancer in your body." He didn't use the word heal, but
He didn't use the word, but we knew. In fact,
you got on the telephone.
I was in the room with you when he said that. And I said to him, my question was, "Doc, I need you to explain something."
Yeah.
We were sitting here from Cabrini Hospital, Alexandria. Their test showed bone marrow stage 4. Your test 3 weeks later say that there's no cancer. I said, "How do you explain that?" And he just shook his head and pointed up. That's all he could do. So
What else can you do?
that's all he could do. My guest this morning, Pastor Buddy Martin, founder of Christian Challenge Worship Center in Pineville. Big celebration this weekend at Christian Challenge. Friday night with Ben Waits in concert. Saturday with a walk down memory lane. Sunday, dinner on the grounds with a very special guest speaker from Monroe. I'll tell you about him a little bit more. When we come back, we'll be joined with Stephen Maxwell, who will help us pick up the interview and probably be a more professional interviewer than me. Back with Stephen Maxwell, Buddy Martin, and Nathan Martin right after this.
Good morning.
Hey,
Stephen. Nice to meet you.
Your headphone on that side is flipped. It's flipped over.
You get it?
Yeah. Oh,
that it?
no.
Can I fix it?
Yeah. So fix it for you. Will you push it back so his head's not standing up?
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Let me fix it for you.
There you go. I didn't go to the thing on the break.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. You're good on the radio. It was good. Sounds good.
Can you hear him? Why don't you take your headphones off?
Oh,
No, he said you're
it
doing
helps a
good.
lot.
You're doing good.
So have you met Stephen before?
Well, I think so. Well, maybe, but I've seen him a lot.
More like running into, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah. Good to meet you, Steve.
Surrounded by Martins. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going
today.
on, so. You raised a good son, so we love him.
Yeah, he is. I have 3 wonderful kids, Father, and they all love the Lord, serve the Lord.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Nathan, we can meet after this if you want to. Yeah. I can meet you over there.
That'd be amazing.
I've never been over there before.
You never been to Christian Challenge? You need to come this weekend, brother.
I would love to. I'll try.
We have 3 great days. Awesome times. So.
That's good. Our daughter feels so bad. She has like a cough. She's 3. So I don't think she slept in 2 nights. We were up till like 2 o'clock last night. I was almost just like, you want your dad to host the whole thing? I'm just gonna let her sleep, you know.
How many children do you have?
Just one.
He's the one.
Yeah, for now.
The new one.
Oh yeah. So we freak out about everything.
Well, the Lord got some more for you.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. All right, welcome back to Talkback. Glad to have you guys along with us this morning. Stephen Maxwell is in the studio. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
You got to hear part of the interview with my dad coming in, and so you kind of up to speed. My father, Lawrence Buddy Martin, in the studio with us this morning, founder of Christian Challenge Worship Center in Pineville, 50-year anniversary coming up this weekend. And you were telling a story just before. We had a caller who called in. By the way, the BOM Talkline 318-442-8255. Any of Dad's old friends want to call in and harass him, that's the number to do it. We don't have caller ID, so we won't know if you're calling or not, who you are. But feel free to give us a call. Got a nice congratulatory text from a friend who said, thank you for the time with your father this morning. What a wonderful testimony to him and his obedience to God's calling. So thank you very much for that message. Also, Steve, I'm not sure why, but you might want to check this. They said they can hear us talking during the break. Your daughter didn't sleep last night. So I thought
Are they online or are they on?
They're on. They're watching on Facebook.
Okay, I'll try and fix
And
it.
I thought I had the mic muted over there, but we'll. Sure. Dad, the caller asked about difficulties you face, and I hesitate going down this path, but I know the story, and I think it might be encouraging to someone. In 1967, you and Mom suffered a loss with my brother in a car accident,
Right.
and I was 2 years old. He was, I think, 8 months old, and unfortunately, he deceased of that. He died in that car wreck. That had to have been a traumatic time for you and Mom. I know it was. I mean, anybody who suffers the loss of a child. What sustained you? And tell us a little bit about how that shaped your life.
Well, Nathan, I think every child of God, when you meet Jesus personally, that He takes up your life from there. And I had met the Lord personally in 1964, and I just had a passion for Him. My wife and I both do. We come from a Pentecostal background, which I treasure, I really do. And when we lost that son, it did put it into its tailspin. But it never shook our faith up in the Lord. I mean, our faith was always constant. And I remember my mother telling me, she said, son, when I saw how you and Betty handled yourself during that time, it made me know that God is real. I baptized my mother. I baptized my dad. I had a prayer list back then of all my Martin line family, and I baptized just about everyone on that line, and it all came out of that basic foundation of our son. And we look forward to meeting him again. We're going to get to see him. He's just a little bitty guy. He was 9 months old when he passed, Nathan. So the Lord sustained us. We've had our battles, but He's always been there. And you're going to weep tears, and you're going to have broken hearts. It just comes with life. That's the way life measures us. But He's been faithful, and we've tried to be faithful. We've had our mistakes. I have. And I still thank God that I'm a sinner saved by grace, and always will be. So,
Well, the ministry started in Boyce, 1976,
Right.
and then in 1978 moved to Pineville, and that's been
Yeah.
its home ever since.
right.
Rented a couple of facilities for a few years. There was a joke. You rented the old, it was called we call it the old renting company building. Now, there's not even a new renting company building now, because
No,
what a new renting company building was built is now Christus Cabrini, not walking clinic, I guess is what's called there on the end of 28 by Leslie Moore School. They had moved to that new location. They rented us their old building for many years. And then somebody came in, offered more money for rent, so you had to move.
We had to move.
And you ended up in now the Trotter Center.
Right.
At that time, it was called the Pine Plaza Mall.
Right.
And during that time, you started construction on a building at Pierce Road, where we are now,
Right.
in 1985-86 timeframe. You
Right.
did something different, though. You didn't take out a loan. Tell us that story.
Well, we've always been trying to be faithful to God's word as far as what we understood. We didn't feel like we needed to take loans. So we trusted the Lord, and we never made that a heavy emphasis on our ministry. When I talked to the ministry, talked to our elders, we made an agreement that we would not take up, we would not make that a strong emphasis. And what was amazing, we saw God begin to come. We had property that was given to us. Sister Elaine Ward, a beautiful lady, she donated property to the church. We had different ones that started giving. I think what amazed me most of all, Nathan, is when God's children have a need, God's children pull together. When we started on that building, we had Baptist brothers that came in and did our plumbing. We had Pentecostal brothers that came in and did our roof on our building. We had so many people that wanted to help and started giving money. And it was the same thing with our parsonage. We just don't push money. You ought to, people should take up offerings. We just don't, it's just not our style of ministry. And we do for special speakers or things, and for missionaries in particular. So I don't know how to fill in the story on that other than just sit back and see what God can do. He says, be still. I'll take care of it, what he's saying, basically.
So how long did it take to build the building?
It took 4 years, Nathan, from the time we actually decided we was going to build. And we built it ourselves, basically. The church, everybody just pulled together. And we had all the other Christians that came to help us. We had so many people that helped. I love the body of Christ. My wife and I, we travel around the country. Every time I see a church, I feel good. This is my family. I believe I could go in there and enjoy myself. They may not enjoy me so much, but I could be with them. But I love God's people. I thank God for every church here in Central Louisiana. I appreciate them. These are all God's children, and they like the synagogue. During the time of Jesus, there was 480 synagogues in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem was only about 50,000 people.
Wow.
At a high point. And we don't have that many churches here, I don't think. But I thank God for every one of them. I thank God for every pastor. And failures and all, God's going to be faithful to us.
Well, you've trained that in us to thank God, to participate with other folks of faith.
Oh, absolutely.
Christian Challenge is a non-denominational church.
We are.
You mentioned your Pentecostal roots.
Right.
My joke has always been we're either real excited Baptists or real boy Pentecostals. I'm not sure if it's...
Yeah, okay. We're Baptist-Costal. Baptist brother told me, said, you're more Baptist than we are. I don't know how you measure that one.
Well, and I know that...
Well, it depends on how big the potluck is.
Well, speaking of potluck, there's going to be a big one on Sunday, I can guarantee.
Talk about, brother. This weekend's going to be awesome. Nathan, I am so excited. I'm so excited. Ben Waits is going to be with us Friday.
Yeah.
And he has his own following. He's a beautiful brother, but he's homegrown. He's from here.
Right.
And he has one of the most beautiful gospel voices singing that you're ever going to hear. And I hope folks will just come out and enjoy Brother Ben. That's the Friday evening.
Stephen, did you go to college with Ben? Were y'all there at the same
I think
time?
he's a little bit older than me.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
No, I don't think so. I know who he is, of course.
Well, he's from Ball, but he lives in Nashville now.
Yeah.
He's driving down today
Yeah.
to be here in time to be with us tomorrow. That's a long drive from Nashville.
It is.
And Ben, like you mentioned, just a gorgeous voice, beautiful art. He was on America's Got Talent.
Absolutely.
I think they missed one there when they passed over advancing him to the final round, but beautiful, beautiful spirit.
Yeah.
And even in spite of the difficulties that he's had physically, his heart is so absolutely beautiful. So
What an amazing testimony.
So then Saturday, tell us a little bit about what's happening Saturday.
That's going to be Memorial Day. It's going to be awesome. My youngest son Andre, they have a gospel, bluegrass gospel country group that's going to be coming in called God's Country, and they're going to be. It starts at 2:00.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an afternoon of just sharing wonderful memories. We'll have the gospel group. We're going to have the old timers from Boyce. It's going to be there, and they're going to be interviewed. And we're going to walk back through some memories, share memories. It's going to be memory lane time.
Yeah.
And they've also asked me if I would go back to some of the first courses we ever sang, if I would lead some of those courses, and I'll be glad to do that. And then I've written many songs over the years. And I have one that's called about the Jubilee song. I'll be singing that song also. I'm just so excited about it, Nathan. It's just something about 50 years. I was 35 when we started. I'm 85 now, and I'm thanking God for every day, every year. So And then Sunday, that's the blowout.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the big blowout. That wonderful Joel Dyke's going to be with us. You and he were the missionaries. You guys raised up about 12 churches back then in some of those mountain villages, and you never had the gospel preached to you guys. You were not blacktop missionaries.
Right.
If you know what a blacktop missionary, they don't ever get off the road. But you guys, you got some amazing testimonies, Nathan. I hope some of that will be shared sometime during the weekend. So, but Sunday's we have dinner on the ground, and come expecting to eat. There'll be plenty of food.
Yeah, so the way we do dinner on the ground is the church provides the meat.
Right.
And so the families of the church will bring all the sides and desserts and drinks.
Right.
And so it's not really hard. We have some guys there at 6 o'clock that morning baking up some chicken on the big grill.
Yeah.
Pineville City Marshal has provided that grill. The last three city marshals have all provided that grill to us.
Yeah.
We appreciate very much that. It started with Larry Jean and then Sarah Smith and now Murphy Rachel. And so they'll provide that to us. We have guys up there cooking pork and sausage and chicken and then all the other food. And I have a feeling there might be a deviled egg or two because people know I like those things.
They won't miss the deviled egg. They know Nathan loves deviled
I
eggs.
love me some deviled egg.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, I actually have a nickname for them. I call them Baptist bullets, or Pentecostal pellets,
Yeah.
or Methodist missiles,
There you go. That'll work.
or non-denominational nom-noms.
Well, put a Catholic twist on it. What do you call that?
I gotta think something military-wise. The Catholic cohort. I don't know what would it be. What's a good word, a military word that starts with a city?
You know, Nathan, can I throw this out real extra? When I had coming back to my cancer miracle, what happened? What amazed me most: Pentecostals, Catholics, Baptists, Methodists, they were all praying for me. And I said, God, how awesome can that be that people would love you enough? They don't even know you, but they know you're in trouble. You know, that just does something to my heart. I want to feel that in extra because I love our Catholic brothers, my Pentecostal brothers and sisters. And, you know, in my opinion, if you love Jesus and you know Jesus, you belong to Jesus. So that settles it for me.
Well, you taught me something that I try to live out, that, you know, some people build walls, but I want to take that same material and build bridges.
Absolutely.
You have done that through your life and ministry. Dad, thank you so much for coming in this morning. I know Stephen appreciates you coming in early to fill the gap there a little bit. But
Well, it was a good listen, too. I enjoyed it. So.
Thank you, Brother Steve.
Well, I
Thank you,
appreciate it
Nathan.
very, very much. We're going to take our final break, and then we'll just come back and kind of wrap things up. But it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday Christian Challenge at 300 Pierce Road in Pineville behind the Lowe's. It's going to be a great celebration, and we invite people to join us. Friday at 6:30 with Ben Waits, Saturday at 2 o'clock, walk down memory lane, Sunday at 10 a.m. And stick around for lunch. It'll be great. Buddy Martin, our guest this morning, I call him Brother Buddy, believe it or not. Called him that for probably 25 years or so, but my dad, man, I admire more than most of the world. Thank you for being with us this morning.
You're very welcome,
Back
Nathan.
over
I
to
enjoyed
you.
it.
All right. That's it. Yeah, we'll have a little in a second to wrap it up.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I enjoyed that. So did Steve. Lord bless you.
Yeah, it was good.
Mercy of Jesus rest on
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Good to meet you.
Your hair got messed up by the headphones. You and Jimmy Swagger,
Don't
right?
touch man's hair.
Be careful going down the steps there, Dad.
From the Coliseum. More breakfast is waiting for you.
No.
We all hear the radio.
I love that, man.
They want you to be afraid, scared.
Just like you love your dad.
When the call.
Flaws and all.
Well, it makes me miss my grandpa.
Yeah, right?
CRA is here to tell you that if you
He reminds me of my grandpa.
whether it's 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000, we have a solution.
That's-
It doesn't matter.
My grandpa, he died like in 2018, but
No matter where you are.
you admired it, but you kind of were annoyed when you were a kid because we would go out
CRA can.
and we'd have to talk to every person about Jesus, and you'd have a card. Like I'm talking like every person. We would never get out of anywhere. But it's you look back on it and appreciate it, you know.
Their IRS problem. We have a review.
It's really nice
With a better business bureau. You
messages.
don't need to be afraid
Yeah.
of the IRS any longer. And your
I don't know, there's like vibes you get from people. He seems like a real nice guy,
CRA.com.
very peaceful.
800-566-3062. That's 800-566.
I don't know what happened to you.
Tax relief.
I know, right?
Just kidding.
I bounced my head when I fell off the turnip truck.
No, you're about the same. I don't know. what's going on with the mic. We could try and unmute you, and I don't know how they're hearing us. Let's see if we can hear you. They obviously can, so.
Oh, man. Well, he's hearing us because he said, I love that beat. Heard you say,
Let's see if we can hear you.
I mean, you are hearing us. We don't know what
They obviously can, so. All right, I'll mute this one, and you can unmute. Let me fix this.
Okay. All right, welcome back to Talkback. Y'all are hearing the
conversation because I wasn't on that side. I didn't know what to do. Did you fix it, Stephen?
So would the input be USB audio device?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, not the microphone.
Don't say anything for 2 seconds. Okay, I think we fixed it.
Okay.
I hope.
So what it was is y'all's audio, our audio was coming through the camera instead of the line-in jack.
Well, we had all good things to say.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
What are they
They're
saying?
dying when you said you don't know what happened to me. My dad's a great man. Oh, look, I got to tell you, that will count to me as one of my highlights of doing the show is to get to interview my own father.
No, that's good.
I'm telling you, because he is my hero. He's a man I love, and oh gosh, somebody else said there was 2 feeds coming through, so you fixed that. That's why
We're good.
the audio was messed up. Yep. I think
Okay.
we're good. Well,
Man.
welcome in, Stephen. I'm glad you got to meet my dad.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, he is. And like you talked about your grandfather never leaving. When we go to restaurants, I mean, he's going to bring that, he's going to talk to that waitress and
Oh,
talk
we're
to her
going to be
about the
stuck.
Lord and,
Yeah.
you know, and encourage and get them laughing. So, yeah.
We need a 2-hour Baptist buffer. Everywhere you go.
Oh, my goodness. So I had this piece of paper sitting on the board here this morning that talks about the 30th Annual Country Cares for St. Jude Radiothon. I think that's taking place over on KRRV.
Yes.
So folks want to become a partner in hope. They can call the Barksdale Federal Credit Union phone bank at 1-800-573-5425, or you can just text CENLA to 785-833, and that's to become a part of the Country Cares for St. Jude Radiothon, brought to you by McDonald's in Alexandria and Pineville and the Say's Office Supply over on 100.3 KRRV. We'll talk about it later. Thank you guys for, I guess, putting up with me this morning with my dad. And when we come back, we'll have the regular show with Stephen. All that coming up more here on Talkback. Thank you guys for being with us today.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of CENLA Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Crew members being rescued after an Iranian strike on their commercial ship in the Middle East as the war enters day 13 with the focus on global energy supplies. Iran continues to target ships in the Strait of Hormuz, driving up oil prices around the world. The BBC's Barbara Platt-Usher is in Doha.
The Gulf is burning, so to speak. You've had those strikes on the 2 foreign-owned vessels in Iraq's territorial waters near the Basra port. You also have a big fire in Bahrain, where Iranian attacks hit oil and fuel tanks near the international airport. The smoke is very thick there.
IEA member countries, including the U.S., have agreed to open spigots on emergency supplies. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
They're releasing 400 million barrels of oil, and that's the largest in history. And so the idea is if you put more supply of oil into the market, you're going to see prices go down. But they didn't yesterday, and I actually just checked, and oil's back above $90 a barrel. And the reason why is that this release was already baked into the price of oil. Oil traders saw this coming. It was very telegraphed.
U.S. gas prices have hit an average of $3.60 a gallon. President Trump took aim at a fellow GOP lawmaker at a stop in Kentucky. Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
On the road rallying for the midterms, President Trump targeted one of his chief critics in the Republican Party, Thomas Massie.
Massie's a complete and total disaster as a congressman and, frankly, as a human being.
Massie led the charge to force a Senate vote to release the Epstein files, something Trump resisted for months.
The president has endorsed Massie's challenger, Ed Galrine, in May's primary. They're still picking up the pieces after deadly storms in the Midwest. This woman survived a tornado in Madison County, Indiana.
It's a little scary. The whole place was rocking and things fell off the counters and the walls. I opened the door and all I heard was whir, 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 and everything was blowing.
An elderly couple killed when an EF1 twister hit their home in Wheatfield. There's a legal fight now over a tribute to law enforcement that responded to the January 6th attack. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Police officers who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6th have asked a federal judge to allow their lawsuit over the long-delayed installation of a plaque honoring their service to continue. It comes just days after the plaque was quietly hung at the end of a hallway in the middle of the night.
Dow futures are down 405. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There's an eye-opener on the National Mall in D.C.
Titled King of the World, the 12-foot-tall piece from an artist's collective recreates a Titanic scene depicting President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in gold standing together in a near embrace on the bow of a ship. This woman is one of many people who've stopped to take a photo.
They made a very good comparison about luxury travel with the Titanic and what was seemingly put together with Jeffrey Epstein and Trump with whatever they had going on.
The White House has condemned the display, blaming wealthy Democrat donors. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The Rhode Island high school hockey player whose father gunned down his mother, brother, and grandfather at a game last month scored the winning goal last night to send his team to the championship. Colin Dorgan says he did it to honor his relatives. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. Small business owners are keeping a keen eye on Baton Rouge now that the legislative session is underway.
Leah Long, the state director of the National Federation of Independent Business, says small business owners have a laundry list of items for lawmakers to address in this session.
Continuing to lower the personal income tax rate and continue to make the state fiscally responsible, which in return will allow them to do that.
Long says navigating Louisiana's complex sales tax code continues to be a burden for small business owners, which is why she's advocating for a centralized sales tax.
Making it easier where there's one place that they can collect and remit is going to make it so much easier for all these small business owners.
I'm Andrew Greenstein.
Entergy is reporting 16,000 customers in Louisiana are without power because of the severe weather that rolled through the state last night. Tangipahoa Parish has numerous trees down, and they've delayed the start of school. McNeese is heading back to the men's basketball tournament. The Cowboys beat Stephen F. Austin yesterday for their third consecutive Southland Tournament championship. LRN. Baton Rouge Senator Regina Barrow wants voters to decide whether to raise the minimum wage from the current wage of $7.25 an hour. The wage has not changed since 2009, and previous attempts to raise it have been defeated, with business groups telling lawmakers it will raise costs and lead to fewer jobs. But Barrow says the business owners she spoke with say that's not the case.
Each of them stated the importance of paying their workers a fair, livable wage. And so they agreed that when you do that, that you actually see the value of that with your employees.
Barrow's proposed constitutional amendment that would raise the minimum wage to $10.25 an hour and adjust it annually based on a consumer price index will be debated sometime in the session. A bill advancing to the Senate floor would allow the Louisiana Wildlife Fisheries Commission to establish a recreational alligator hunting season. LDWF Secretary Tyler Bosworth.
Folks from out of state, other folks here that see the shows like Swamp People, and they want to engage in this activity. It's very cultural. There's a heritage behind it that people want to experience.
LRN.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Boy, what a difference a day makes, huh? Good morning. Sunny, much cooler today. We'll see the afternoon highs only getting up to 63 degrees. A good breeze. It's going to be out of the north-northeast at 10 to 20. Now tonight down to 36 degrees under clear skies. And they get ready for some nice weather. Sunny on Friday with the high 74. Saturday and Sunday looking good as well. 78 the high on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning. Happy Thursday morning. Welcome back to Talk Back. Nathan Martin, Stephen Maxwell in the studio this morning. Thank you all for indulging me with that interview with my dad in the first hour and the chance to honor him. I think that it's good to give honor to whom honor is due, and it's nice to give flowers before the funeral. So I was honored to get to celebrate him a little bit, and I think he enjoyed it. He did radio for years and years, so he's not uncomfortable with a microphone. But nevertheless, thank you all for putting up with me on that. Stephen, thank you for letting that happen.
Well, if you need to fill time, always invite 2 pastors in the room together, and you'll be just fine. You don't have to worry about nothing. But I thought it was a great interview. I feel like I want to have more old-time pastors in here to kind of give their backstory. I find it very interesting.
Wouldn't that be, it was kind of funny driving in. I thought, what if, once a month we invited a long-time pastor just to tell their story?
And, churches are integral to our Central Louisiana area. There's so many of them, and so many of them have been here for a long time. And it's a part of our history, and I'd love to hear more about it.
So. Well, especially when we hear of, churches having milestone events, in the big scheme of things, 50's not that old.
First pretty Baptist, significant.
Though. Yeah, it is. It certainly does. But, people, Calvary and First Baptist and, Pentecostals of well, I think POA started in the 1950s. But, there are certainly, St. Francis Xavier. There are churches who've been here a lot longer. But for us, making 50 is a big deal, so we're excited about it.
Man, the cathedral downtown is the most beautiful thing.
I heard you went to service there last week.
Yeah,
enjoyed
very
that.
Beautiful, yeah.
I've been to a few services there, primarily weddings, funerals, and there's been a few times I've gone to memorials for, like, Back the Blue type, prayer for the police officers. And there is a sense of majesty. There's absolutely a sense of the awe-inspiring.
I love it.
I'm grateful for people who dreamed big and built things that inspire.
Yes.
Right?
And another uniquely beautiful church here is First United Methodist. Have you been inside of the sanctuary? Oh, it's just amazing. It's different.
Yeah,
but it's amazing.
The stained glass is very unique in there.
Well, it's they're big on the art stuff.
That's right.
Because they had an artist there one time.
Peyton something arts.
Not Walter Payton. Peyton something. Good Lord, I need sleep. I was up till 3. But yeah, it's you could just see the very unique artwork across the whole building, the sanctuary.
Across the campus, yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
There's sculptures in different places.
Emmanuel Baptist downtown too. That's a beautiful church.
And they built that chapel. They have their chapel as well as their sanctuary. Places. That's where I think I admire in Europe. They built these places that reach the heavens. Their idea was to capture the minds and carry us up. And
Like the Orthodox say they built their church to resemble heaven on earth. You want to have that feeling of that when you get in there, of majesty. And, I think we should. I grew up in the wood panel Baptist world.
Right.
And so I appreciate it for what it's worth, but I just think it's a little too much, little for too much.
And
right?
sometimes stained glass was considered, high church or whatever. So, but there is beauty. Some of these churches you go to and you look, and of course, many of those stained glass, they have stories of their own. Family would adopt one and pay for one, and you look at, maybe it's the 12 apostles, or maybe it's their stories from the Gospels or the different parables. So
Well, St. James Episcopal off Bolton, really Murray. They just put in this brand new stained glass window. It's like, it's focused on creation.
Wow.
But it has a lot of Louisiana themes in it. It's got like the alligator and all that kind of stuff. So they'll let you just go in and walk in and see it. It's fantastic. Or you can just check out my story from a couple months ago.
There you go.
So that's a beautiful church too. It might be top 3 in Alexandria.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we celebrate all the great things and the people who are doing good stuff in the community. Speaking of celebrating, I can tell you some people who are celebrating right now is the Rapides Parish Registrar of Voters. Sandra messaged me last night that they're finally back in their home at the courthouse.
Okay.
And she was ecstatic about that, and so I told her I'd let everybody know.
I'm going to text her and try and get something on that.
That would be a good story for you. Yeah, get a chance to view the updates that they've made there. So they're back to their longtime location. They've been at a temporary office downtown for over a year, but Sandra Bonnet is a wonderful lady to work with, and as of yesterday, they are back home, having been at the Kinetics building while the improvements were being made. So congratulations to them, and I'm sure it's still got that new car smell.
That's good. And I'm glad they're redoing the parts of the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Hope they get the elevators working.
My goodness. Oh, the elevators are not working.
Well, actually, I think they did a refurb, didn't they? That was one of the recent refurbs they did.
I don't think so.
I tell you what, they did. I know the bathrooms on the first floor, the men's bathroom was redone.
They look nice. Yeah.
Very nice, yeah.
It's almost too nice where it doesn't match the rest of the building.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I miss the old-timey urinals that went all the way to the floor. You walk back in time. So
yeah, that courthouse I know everything costs money and it's going to come at the expense of us, right? But man, we need to spend money on that place. It needs some money.
Well, Al would shoot me. We've gone this far and haven't talked about sports at all. Condolences.
Oh, please don't.
I was just going to give condolences to Ash on that upset loss last night. I hated for them. Lost to Edna Carr. Basically, some cold shooting in the second half allowed Edna Carr to come back and, in a big, strong second half, upset Ash. I think final score 44-39. Of course, Peabody charged ahead.
44-39. That's a low-scoring game, huh?
It is. It is. Especially for men's basketball. So Peabody advances to the finals. They beat Washington Marion, which had a big crowd for that game. They said there were about 3,000 people at that game,
gracious.
which is a huge turnout.
Peabody loves it.
Yeah. So they won 52-48, and they will head to the state finals. You ready for this? For the 17th time in school history. So Coach Charles Smith, he's in the Hall of Fame, as he should be.
How many coaches do you know where the gym and the court's named after him, and he's still with us? I mean, that's how good he is.
No.
So.
And how many coaches you know still drive the school bus on the trips and sweep the floor when it's over with?
He's the man.
He is.
And he's such a great guy.
He's such a great guy.
Big fan.
Love me some Charles Smith. So congratulations to Peabody. Condolences to Ash. At least one Pineville team will be in the finals.
How'd Marksville do?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
We'll Google that. Did you see LSUA's heart that they unveiled?
You know, it might be the best one that I've seen. It's fantastic.
I don't know. Pineville's pretty good.
Okay, Pineville's is good. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. Pineville and LSUA may have the best of them.
The artists it's really about the artists who you get to do it. And the artist rendering for Pineville, having the Old Town map on one side, that was a touch of genius. But the LSUA map is gorgeous. I mean, heart is gorgeous. You're right. Did you do a story on that one?
No, I couldn't. I had some personal things to attend to.
Right.
So, But it looks fantastic, Michael, over there. We have so many hearts now. I don't know if I can do stories on them all. I know the Rapides Parish Police Jury did one. It looks pretty good.
I think Pineville Elementary is getting ready to do one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so.
And that's such a great idea.
It really is. For years, I had suggested that in the city of Pineville, we get like large fiberglass pine cones and then have businesses decorate them in front of the, trying to find, because you go places and they have airplanes or they have pigs or they have, something that, but I'm really glad that they chose to do the whole region with the heart, because we're the heart of Louisiana.
I was going to make a joke, actually, since you said that. We should have just had a big fiberglass pine cone. You're right. Somewhere downtown. Y'all should still do that, like just have like the giant pine cone shrine.
Maybe in my final months on council, I can get something done.
We can put it in front of the new amphitheater. I'm serious.
That's going to be great. I got to tell you, and kudos to the leadership of Pineville that, they pursued that for a long time. It takes a long time to get something like that. Yeah, the amphitheater, the Founders Pavilion. It takes a while to get that, funded and get it approved. So I'm super. My only regret is it will come in after I'm gone. But I did get to vote for it, so that's a good thing.
I know I've said this time and time again, but I went to college, lived in Pineville. I think the majority of my Central Louisiana experience, and it's moved leaps and bounds the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it's full steam ahead at this point. It's not an endorsement for any politician. It's a lot of private businesses doing this too, and leadership is a big deal. It's election season, so I'm being careful.
Sure.
But Main Street is fantastic. Hemingway House is a gym. Everything that Jorge's doing over there and helping local entrepreneurs start their business.
Right.
And Bonnie and is it John over at Hemingway?
Yeah, that's right.
Like the amount of personal work they've put into getting that place to look how it looks. I know John's been over there like nonstop.
Yeah.
Probably going crazy if I had to guess. And it's just such a fantastic
Yeah, every time
place.
I drove by, he's out on sawhorses on the sidewalk, sawing and cutting and making it ready.
Little Chubby's might have the best facade in Central Louisiana. Is that the right word, facade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and let me go back to this is the kind of thing that takes years to develop.
Yeah.
It didn't happen just in the last 2 years. We started seeing the fruit. But I gave kudos on Tuesday night's council meeting to Mike Tudor, who's been the chairman of the the Pineville Downtown Development District. But this started probably, 8 years ago, they started doing these facade grants. I don't know the exact year, but whenever Why Not Stop was built, the Town Down Development District reaped the benefit because they brokered the deal. They bought the land from the state, turned around and sold it to the family, the St. Romain family that has the Why Not Stops. And then they made, I don't remember how much it was, $70,000 or whatever. And they turned around and started doing facade grants. And businesses up and down Main Street could apply for up to $10,000 in a matching grant to improve the facade of their buildings. And dozens of businesses took advantage of that. They may have put $20,000, $30,000 in their facade because they were getting a $10,000 grant, up to $10,000 grant. And Louisiana Fireplace and First Baptist Church and Evergreen Ministries, and you just go up and down there. They all started taking pride in the way it looked.
The River Outreach Center put up that new sign. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I don't even know if they used the grant.
River Outreach?
It was River Outreach. Yeah, they did a complete front. I think I don't even know if they took advantage of the facade or not.
In that Baptist building too, they were painting it the other day, right?
Which one is that?
Baptist.
Oh, Main Street Mission.
Main Street Mission. I don't know if it's Baptist.
Yeah,
they
it
started
is.
Painting
That's the ministry of First Baptist Church. They applied for a facade grant, and I think that seed bed of money has done wonders. It's like the kickstart that got the ball rolling, and man, what an exciting thing.
And I sorry. I think the most important thing we can do, and this is my non-politician, non-business brain, the most important thing we can do in Central Louisiana, which y'all are doing, and really Alexandria, let's be honest, is we just need beautification. Like, it needs to look like we put pride in our place.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are we spending money on planting trees in a median, or why are we putting lights under the overpass? Because we got to look like we actually care about this place. Like, if we're going to spend public dollars, I just can't think of anything better than that.
Well, and I'm going to give kudos to Mayor Roy. In his first term in office, he did things in that Spark program. He improved the entrances to the city.
Yeah.
Lower Third was revitalized under his administration. I know not all the business owners on Bolton Avenue appreciated losing street front parking, but Bolton Avenue is a very nice drive. And what he's doing on the Masonic Corridor, I think is going to be phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. City Council of Alexandria, and we got to take the break. I tell you what, let me come back and we'll talk about the Weiss and Goldring building right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
For over 35 years, Security Metal Roofing has been Cenla's trusted name for metal buildings and roofing. When it comes to the highest quality materials at rock-bottom prices and top-tier service, nobody does it better. And don't worry, great prices doesn't mean cutting corners. Our Cool Chemistry color sheeting comes with a 40-year warranty, plus the peace of mind that comes with a team that has over 150 years of combined experience. From sheeting and red iron to roll-up doors and insulation, you get more for your money at Security Metal Roofing. Whether you need a new roof, carport, or are building your dream shop, we're here to help every step of the way. Apples to apples, we won't be undersold. And that's a guarantee. Call 445-0223 for your quote today, or visit us at Security Metal Roofing on Masonic Drive in Alexandria, or online at securitymetalroofing.com. Security Metal Roofing, your local experts in metal roofing and buildings, where quality, service, and price come together.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. Terrific Thursday here. Stephen Maxwell, Nathan Martin on this 12th day of March 2026. And the phone line has lit up, so let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Good morning.
Hello.
I saw that on March the 9th at the City Council that y'all had a resolution to be approved for the adjustment of the sanitation, water, and sewer rates for the calendar year 2026.
Yeah, that's right.
So how is it that they sent out a bill for higher rates before it was approved by the City Council?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I will tell you this. The ordinance that was passed many years ago established that the rate would be automatically in effect in February. And then last year we passed another ordinance that said that, because the previous ordinance required it to be whatever the CPI adjustment was. And we realized that sometimes a CPI adjustment, like this year's 4.9%, is really too high for us locally. That may be true nationwide, but that's not true locally. And so we, at this council meeting, we authorized only a 2% increase, not the 4.9 of the federal CPI. But so I don't know if that, because the ordinance is that it goes into effect automatically unless the council approves less than the CPI. So maybe that's why. But I tell you what, if you give me a chance, I'll check on that and try to report back to you.
No, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much, man.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Just like that, BOM Talk Line, 318-442-8255. Give us a call, and we'll be glad to chat with you. If I have the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll find it and report back later. That is a very good question, though. So appreciate the astuteness there of noticing that. Taking a look, I was mentioning to you the Weiss and Goldring building. That years ago, man, Weiss and Goldring at this time of the year would be, it'd just be hopping, forgive the pun, but with Easter coming up, it'd be the place to go. But right now, since it's been in such a state of disrepair, obviously it's an eyesore to many. And there's just so many discussions about what's going to happen there. It was donated to the city in 2000, about 10 years ago. I don't know exactly when, but it's been the city's for about 10 years. And I believe that, well, here's an article that might give you more information from the Rapides Parish Journal. It says the council approves seeking bids to raise, that is to demolish, part of Weiss and Goldring. So at-large Councilman Jules Green said at Tuesday's council meeting he thinks it's time to toss in the towel and take down the entire place. And that discussion took about the bids to raise to clear the parking garage. Mayor Roy said that that portion is a threat to public safety and is not salvageable, but he believes the rest of the property could be attractive to private investment. So as a result of that ongoing situation, they're going to advertise for demolition bids. They haven't approved it yet, but they're advertising for bids, especially to take down the garage. And Mayor Roy is going to be taking folks on a tour of it to get a better feel. And I know all of us want to see that become a reality. So, yeah, that's good stuff.
Well, if it's torn down all the way, I don't know what it would even remotely look like over there. It'd be pretty weird, I'm sure.
All right, yeah.
That big open space.
Well, let me talk to you about the power of local radio. As the caller just called in with the question, and I said I'd look into it. I haven't even had a chance to look into it yet, and I already got a text from the mayor over in Pineville. He said the answer is correct. The ordinance states that it has to be passed on in February automatically, and we rectified it with the March vote saying it only be 2%. So, Mayor Bishop, thank you for listening in and taking the time to text that information over. That's the power of public live radio. You get answers on the spot. So, man, that's good. Well, I'm glad I kind of sort of knew what I was talking about. So, Stephen, what do you think should happen downtown? Do you think we need more housing downtown? Should people be able to live? Alexandria.
I mean, they've talked about that forever.
Mm-hmm.
There was talks about doing condos in one of those buildings. And
I'd like to find out, because at one point they were talking about part of Bentley would become condos.
We did stories on that back.
But has that become a reality?
No.
Yeah, so I want to.
I mean, now that I have kids, I don't know. But before, I probably would have.
You would have lived there?
Yeah. I like downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better now too.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about safety and stuff. I don't really feel too much in danger downtown. I'm sure there's been incidents, of course, but I would like it. I kind of like the whole city feel. You probably not, huh?
No, I do. And look, the older I get, the nicer, smaller places look.
The only reason we wouldn't right now is we would want a yard for our kid.
Sure.
But we don't have one now, so she's surviving, I guess.
I got a house coming up for sale pretty soon.
I don't know.
I'll tell you about.
You give me like 10 months. That's kind of our timeline there. So, but yeah, the whole downtown situation, the Weiss and Goldring thing has been ongoing for forever. I know Black Boxed it a couple of years ago to make it more attractive for possible private developers. There was a lot of hope for that. It's become a bit of a political football as well since then, but it will, I know that they wanted like a grocery store, mixed-use facility, possibly some office space, but the market, I guess, isn't bearing it at this point, and, I'm sure it could be a bit of a hazard, too, as well, with vagrancy.
Yeah. Well, that is always the concern, that is safety. Any government's first job is keeping folks safe. So if there is that sense of unsafety, folks are going to avoid. I don't feel unsafe downtown. frequent it. I attend events and stuff downtown a lot. Go to the Randolph Riverfront Center.
I go there all the time.
Yeah, so, well, congratulations to the city of Alexander in seeking to make that part of the eyesore, which is unsalvageable, become better, useful for something else down the road. And I really, really hope that they get a good tenant there, that whether it's housing or retail or a combination mixed use, best wishes for that. We got to take our bottom of the hour break. We'll come back with more on Talkback after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Crude oil prices are really spiking, and stock futures are under pressure as Iran steps up attacks on shipping and on parts of Dubai as well. The cost of plane tickets may jump as much as 9% as oil prices soar. That's according to Willie Walsh, Director General of the International Air Transport Association. Housing starts unexpectedly climbing in January, but the trend may not continue. Building permits slumped. New warning for those taking the weight loss drug Zepbound. Eli Lilly says the active ingredient could pose a risk to patients when mixed with vitamin B12. Petco says it could return to sales growth, thanks in part to pet food, services, grooming, and trading, and as it adds more pets to the selection, including more jumping spiders and tarantulas. And attention shoppers, Trader Joe's coming out with a new canvas bag, this time a large one with lavender handles and a pink logo, according to USA Today. Trader isn't saying exactly when, though, probably hoping you'll go to the store every day to check. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540. Boy, what a difference a day makes, huh? Good morning. Sunny, much cooler today. We'll see the afternoon highs only getting up to 63 degrees. A good breeze. It's going to be out of the northeast at 10 to 20. Now tonight down to 36 degrees under clear skies. And they get ready for some nice weather. Sunny on Friday with a high 74. Saturday and Sunday looking good as well. 78 the high on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. From the Sunlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talkback. Bottom of the hour news is complete. Half an hour to go. BOM Talkline, 318-442-8255 is the number. Only had a couple of calls this morning. Love to hear from some more folks today. First-time callers, give us a call. There's nothing scary here at all. I'd love to hear from you. Of course, this weekend, obviously, I've got my excitement for our church's anniversary, but Ball's got their excitement for the Moon Pie Festival. You did you did a nice little story on that yesterday, and I got to say this: Mayor Wilkins' enthusiasm is infectious. She loves her town.
Oh yeah,
and I think she realizes that a Moon Pie Festival. Mayor, don't get mad at me. It's a little silly, right? It's just a moon pie, but at the same time, it has put Ball on the map. I will tell you, I go to events all across the state, and when she's there, everybody knows Ball. Everybody knows Ball.
My mom and dad don't even know what Ball is.
Yeah, right?
They have no idea. They're not from this area. But my mom was like, oh my gosh, there's a Moon Pine Festival in Ball? Where's that? And I was like, oh, it's here. I cover it. She's like, oh, I really want to go of that. So it creates
it's
awareness.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
really is.
She doesn't ever go to things like that. And she's like, I might come up Saturday and try and check it out. So.
Well, I'm going to stop in. I promised the mayor I'm going to stop in that morning briefly because I've got a full day. But I want to go. And the people that she's going to have, it's great. It's small town festivals. If you go to the Pie Festival in LeCount or you go to the Pecan Festival in Colfax, there's just something so beautiful about the community coming together and seeing old friends and bumping into folks. It's just enjoyable. And I'm so glad that they're doing that. I know it's going to be a great day. How's the weather looking? I haven't even looked ahead.
Shouldn't be clear.
I hope so, because the rain the last couple of days has
just colder.
Been worrisome to me. I guess they had a front come in, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that storm brought some cold weather.
Well, we finally lifted the burn ban. That's a big deal because folks were waiting for that. So the burn ban has been lifted in Rapides Parish. I can't speak to other parishes, but I know the Rapides Parish Police Jury put out a notice yesterday that the ban was lifted, and it certainly needed to be because it's rained buckets in the last couple of days.
Well, the weather's been so odd. Like the fact that it's cold this morning. And, I have a hard time remembering what happened last March. And I always get surprised by the weather. But it feels like it shifted somehow in my brain. I just don't feel like I should be wearing a sweater and a jacket.
Yeah.
At the mid-March point.
So how about this? For Ball's Moon Pie Festival, predicted high is 78 degrees, low of 57.
That's pretty good.
Today, high of 74, low of 46. So we experienced that 46 last night.
Yeah.
Woke up this morning and it was a little chillier than I expected. Open the door to let the dog out. We do have a backyard, so I can let the dog out. Who let the dog? I did. Yep. Actually, my wife let the dog out. But you can feel that chilly air coming in. But, 78 degrees. It's going to be a great day in Ball. And
Ball will be balling.
Today. They'll be balling and ball. That's right. Sunny skies today, mostly sunny tomorrow. Good stuff.
Yeah, they're going to have musical talent, like a little train, locomotive thing. I believe over
110 vendors.
Vendors, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And all sorts of stuff. And, of course, moon pies, like 9 to 10 different flavors. I must say that the birthday cake flavor, their new one, is fantastic.
It's legit.
I'm a moon pie fan. I've always liked them.
Yeah.
I didn't know you paired them with RC Cola. That's new to me. But
really? So
I didn't know that was a thing.
That was a big deal growing up. Moon pie and RC, that was a big deal.
I can't really drink soda, but I'll eat the moon pie for sure.
Well, she introduced me. RC has a raspberry cream flavor, RC. It's out of this world.
Well, Dr. Pepper's doing that, too.
Are they really?
The strawberries and cream is their new one.
I haven't tried that.
They even have it in zero.
So were you here the other day when Bluebell came by?
They didn't come in here.
What?
I was shocked.
See, it was on the calendar, and I told you I was upset.
Well, usually they make a detour.
Usually, what's wrong with them folks?
They probably were in a hurry, or maybe we looked grumpy. Maybe Al's frown turned them away. Does Al even like ice cream?
I know he used to, but he's changed his eating so much, I don't know.
I like it a lot.
So gas prices are on the yo-yo, back up, back down, back up, back down. Mayor Bishop was telling us on Tuesday that the 414 Main had the cheapest gas and diesel in town. I didn't check it. I don't even know if they have.
I went and got some the other day.
Yeah, good price. Was the little convenience store open?
I don't think so.
$3.50 is good.
$2.50.
Oh, wait. I meant.
Yeah.
$2.50. Yeah, because it's been bumping $3. One thing I'm curious about, and maybe one of our legislators can give us some idea about it, but I seem to recall years ago that part of Louisiana's budget was affected by the price of oil, and that when oil was below $80 an hour a gallon, $80 versus higher meant surpluses, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't remember if it was 80 or 40. I think it was $80, and it's been above $80 for a while. So that usually ends up being a good thing for Louisiana.
Well, now that you say that, it looks like Iran is threatening $200 oil barrels.
Barrel, not gallon. Thank you. I knew as soon as I said that, I'm like, that's not right, but a barrel. Good. Yeah, okay.
$200.
All right, let's go to the phone line real quick. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Yeah, since I thought I'd provide a little input about crawfish.
Okay.
There's two crawfish markets. There's the live market, which goes to boiling, and then there's the peeling market. And once the boiling market is saturated, something has to be done with the crawfish that can't go into the boiling market. And it takes 6.5 to 7 pounds of live crawfish to make a pound of crawfish meat. Now, if the price of crawfish is $1 a pound, that means it costs $6.5 to $7 a pound just for the crawfish meat. And typically what happens is the price for the boiling crawfish remains kind of high, but the price has to go down for the peelers. And the problem right now is that the boiling market is saturated and there's nobody to peel the crawfish. Or the amount of labor does not meet the need, the amount of crawfish.
So who does the peeling?
Well, the peeling is typically done now by temporary workers who come from Spanish-speaking countries who aren't here now because of the issue with labor going back and forth, which hasn't ever been really resolved very well. Now, in the past, the people that peel the crawfish were people in the local community who basically were, not especially skilled at anything, and they just went in and peeled the crawfish.
Okay.
But now, apparently, the system provides adequate income to those people, and so they don't peel crawfish.
Interesting. Well, go ahead.
One of the reasons why is if you're on public assistance, you can earn extra money.
Right.
But there's a limit to the amount of extra money you can earn without losing your benefits.
Okay.
And so you might be able to peel crawfish for 10 hours a week, but you can't for 40 hours a week or lose your benefits. Who wants to lose their benefits?
Of course. But there's also, aren't there some work requirements for SNAP benefits now?
I really don't know how that works, but I can guarantee you that if there were work requirements, that the owners of these peeling plants would be Johnny on the spot getting people to come in to peel.
Well, that's especially in this seasonal work. It would be has hurt several industries, but hopefully that opens the doors for others to step up. Hey, I'm late on this break. Thank you for your call. We'll come back to the next call right after this. Thanks for sticking around for Talkback.
KSYL.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungasser, inviting you to help keep Louisiana beautiful. Love the Boot Week, the 26th. This year, for America's 250th birthday, we're challenging volunteers to pick up 250 pieces of litter in their community. We've made real progress, but there's more work to do. Get a group together and register. For more information, visit lovetheboot.org.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
All right, welcome back to Talkback. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Well, good morning, y'all. How are y'all this morning?
Good.
Y'all know who this is? Good.
It sounds to me like the conductor in Ball.
Man, I tell you what, you got a head on your shoulders, don't you?
Well, it may be a block of granite some days if my wife is right, but I appreciate you calling in, Councilman Carroll. How are you? Or Alderman Carroll, excuse me.
Man, everything is going wonderful out here. It really is. Despite what you hear, all the lies and stuff, you got to have liars out there sometimes to keep things going.
Okay. But anyway, we'll get off that subject, and we'll go to the Citgo station here in Ball, right here at the red light. It used to be the Conn's gas station for 100 years.
Okay.
Gas over there for regular gas. Hold on to your seat now. It's $2.79.
$2.79. All right.
$2.79. Greg keeps a good price over there. He tries not to go above cost too much if he can help it, but right now he's holding it at $2.79.
Well, and there's some, they're subject to the whims of the market. If another truck comes in and it's gone up 20%, well, they've got to do that themselves. They have to pay for what they got. But that's honorable of him to try to keep it as low as possible.
Right. And he's doing a good job at it. He's been at $2.79 since the price started going up, and he hasn't gone up yet. And I know you got to be either close or just breaking even on it, but he's trying to hold it on there. He's a believer in helping the communities.
Well, that's great.
He really is.
You said that's the Citgo at the light in Ball.
Yes, sir, right across from the Dairy Queen.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Go get you a Blizzard and then go fill up with gas on the other side of the road.
Amen to that. I'm looking forward to seeing both of y'all there Saturday morning.
Well, I promised the mayor I'd be there. I can't stay long, as you know, we have our big event, but I'm certainly going to go and support.
Right.
And I'm going to try.
Right.
I'm going to try one of those moon pies that I haven't tried before, because they got 10 different varieties.
The birthday cake is pretty good.
Birthday cake is good, huh?
It's good.
Yeah. That's got to be good, Stephen. Anything birthday cake, like Bluebell ice cream birthday cake, it's wonderful.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
or Bluebell,
Are you going to be driving? You're going to be driving a train, huh?
Yes, sir. I'll be pulling a little train there that Mr. Linscomb built for his kids years ago, and he passed on, and they donated it to the town there to be used in the parades and stuff like that. And we're going to keep it going there.
All right.
Well, that's great.
Mr. Linscomb, he was a police juryman at one time there.
Right.
Luke Linscomb.
You going to be wearing coveralls and a conductor's hat?
Well, no. Unfortunately, I'll have me a moon pie shirt on.
Well, that's not unfortunate. That's a good choice to make. That's a good choice to make.
And I'll have me a special horn out there that you'll ever hear down the highway there.
Ooga.
So, well, they'll have that on there, but I'll have an air horn, too.
Oh, very good.
That way I can get everybody's attention,
Don't want anybody missing it when the train comes by.
That's exactly right, So, well, looking forward to seeing y'all. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there from all over this great nation that we live in.
Well, I heard you had somebody come all the way from Alaska last year on purpose for the Moon Pie Festival.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yep, sure did. Anchorage, Alaska is where you're from.
Wow.
Sure was. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Just people everywhere. The people had a good time, and we all had a good time,
Well,
I saw Nungesser make a post yesterday and saying to go out to the Moon Pie Festival, and there were comments on there from people across the state saying, I didn't know this is happening. This is awesome. This is great. So hopefully it grows.
This is our third one. Did y'all realize how many festivals are in Louisiana every year?
I think there's more festivals than there are days.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. There's over 400, and I think it's closer to 460 festivals in Louisiana in a year time.
Wow.
So, some of them's got 3 or 4 weekends. There's festivals somewhere.
Sure, absolutely.
Wait, does Forest Hill, I'm not Forest Hill, does Woodworth have a festival yet?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
I don't think Woodworth, I thought about that the other day that you bring it up.
Really?
I don't think Woodworth has. We have to get a hold of Mayor Butler, won't we?
It could be the Wild Horse Festival.
Oh, get out of town, Steve.
That's what I'm talking about. That's it.
Well, look,
where
was he at recently? And he opened the meeting by welcome. Oh, it was North Rapids Business District. Yeah, and he said...
that's right, North Rapids. Yep.
I think he maybe even said home to the Wild Horse Festival.
Yeah, he likes to... Yeah. He's got a good sense of humor. So.
All right.
Let me say something about these wild horses real quick. Wild horses are like wild deer. They just everywhere, You can't stop them from roaming. That's part of America to begin with. You got to have wild horses, and it's part of, the heritage of Louisiana, too, as well as the West or anywhere. But I know they mess your yard up. They run out there in front of a car, but so does that deer.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think if you hit a horse, you're going to have more of an impact than a deer. But
it's like hitting a cow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But down you get up north now, they got deer or elk or what you want to call them, mooses up
They're
there,
huge.
bigger than these horses
That's
and deer.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
So
Mayor
there you
Butler
go.
will call in, or Council Member Lisa Amon, who's Mayor Pro Tem, can let us know if Bob's working on a Wild Horse Festival. She'll love me for saying that.
You mean
I'm
woodwork?
What did I say? What did I say?
Ball. You said wood ball.
Well, y'all don't
You
need a
said
second
ball.
one. Y'all got one. That's enough.
We'll get that wild horse over there. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Looking forward to seeing y'all.
Thank you. Alderman Carol Ward of Ball. Everybody come out Saturday. We'll see you then. Back with more after this. Final
Thank you.
segment.
Bye-bye.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent. Oh no, Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
United Express flights to Houston are taking off in May from Alexandria International Airport. Reservations are now open for twice daily flights operated by SkyWest Airlines. Skip the drive. With nonstop service to Houston, you're one step closer to nearly 200 destinations worldwide. And if you're a United Mileage Plus loyalty member, you can earn miles for your flights.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Book now at flyaex.org/united. Reunited. And we're so excited.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, welcome back to the final segment on Thursday's Talkback. What a great show for me personally. Thank you all for indulging me again. The interview with my dad, Lawrence Buddy Martin, the founding pastor of Christian Challenge in Pineville, where I have been privileged to be pastor for the last 20 years. I've actually been on staff for 36 years.
Wow.
I was associate pastor for 16 and then been pastor for 20. And I was 4 years in Mexico before that. So this year marks my 40th year in full-time ministry.
Very cool.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
You still, when's the first time you went to Mexico?
I think I was like 15 the first time I went to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started making summer trips when I was a teenager. And then moved there, and I was 21 when I moved there.
If you're so 15, Santa Ana was probably still around back then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know if I told you this joke, but there was a guy who's from Mexico. This joke was told to me in Mexico, in Spanish, by native Mexicans. So I'm just repeating what he said. But he was mad at Santa Ana for selling Texas and New Mexico and all that. And he was from Tamaulipas, which is the northeasternmost state that borders Texas. And so he's like, man, I just can't stand Santa Ana. You know, he sold those places to the United States of America. And I'm nervous because I don't know where this is going. I said, really? He said, yeah. He should have sold my state too. Then I'd have been an American.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
So then he bust out laughing. Well, I definitely love our Mexican people down there. They're living through some stuff right now. Things, thankfully, have calmed down after the capture and not assassination, but the El Mencho, the cartel leader who died in captivity, or in the raid, I should say, along with his number 2 and their financial leader. And Mexico erupted in chaos But things seem to have calmed down lately, and that's a good thing.
I already forgot about that.
Yeah.
Everything's moving too fast.
I had I've got a trip coming up at the end of May. And I invite other churches to go, and one of the other churches' pastor called me and said, "Hey, we're a little nervous about going." I said, "I get it. Look, I get it. You can't go without peace." But as far as I'm still planning to go at the end of May.
Good.
So we'll keep our eyes on that kind of stuff. I'm talking about eyes around the world. Oil prices, according to CNN, have busted the $100 mark. Iran attacks on the shipping have increased. And did you hear that story this morning about possible drones, Iranian drones over California?
Yeah.
That supposedly the FBI has issued warnings to police departments all across California to be on the lookout. So it may be coming home. Hard to believe that they still have the capacity to do that because seems like they've been bombed into oblivion.
And you always hear rumors that our news is getting filtered. Mm-hmm. And you look at international news and it's not as rosy of a picture. Yeah. It's just hard to know what anything is anymore.
Do you have a favorite news source?
No.
I try to use a lot.
I just Drudge is where I go to for like the headlines.
I showed you my tab sets that I use. You click one button and it opens up 11 different news sites. Axios is one that I enjoy because you get quick snippets of information.
Bullet points, yeah.
Drudge is one that's on there. I look at the Dead Pelican for Louisiana stuff. That's kind of the Louisiana version of Drudge Report.
If you're super nerdy with news, there's an app called Ground News. And so it's an aggregator.
Okay.
But it has almost like a meter on there where it says, this is how left-leaning this article is, or this is how right-leaning this article is, or if it's pretty centered. And it kind of gives you a gauge. And you can look at, let's say, the top headline, War with Iran today. It'll give you articles that lean a certain way and lean another way, so you can be informed on if there's any slant towards
Interesting. I don't know if you were here and arranged the interview or if Al did it, but we did an interview last year with the founder of Flipside, which is so you're shaking your head no, so you didn't. But the flip side is a daily newsletter that covers one of the big topics, and it gives you on the left, it gives you in blue the left's view, and on the right in red, it gives you the right side. And I have found that to be a great source. And what I really enjoyed, we interviewed the founder. I subscribe to it. It's $5 a month, and I get the daily. It's really interesting to see people's perspective. That's really the best part about it.
I would say the majority of my news consumption comes from obviously biased sources. Like I'll listen to a lot of left-leaning YouTube pages, right-leaning YouTube pages. I just enjoy commentary. And so, I feel like I'm a seasoned news consumer.
Right.
So I try and, always think about, hey, this is a biased source and everything, but I enjoy the commentary behind it, even though it puts poison into your brain.
Sure. Well, as I look across my tabs, I've got AP, CNN, Axios, NOLA, Advocate, Louisiana Illuminator,
So you're left-leaning.
Hayride, Drudge Report, Fox News, Rapids New Journal. So I try to be across the board, get it all. Well, that wraps up today's show, Stephen. Enjoyed having you with me this morning. Got to ride along. Tomorrow, Uncle Al will be back.
My favorite news source is Sinlaw Update with Sinlaw Broadcasting.
There's none better.
Yeah.
None better
That's
at
the
all.
best one.
And make sure you stay tuned. There may be a good story later that I'll be interested in.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks. That's it for today. Come back tomorrow. Al and Stephen will be here bringing you the latest upgrades. Probably a little sports news, too, because Al will be back. Y'all have a great day.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of